Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Movie. We are on episode 12. This is our Halloween episode, so I hope everyone has a very, very happy Halloween. It's on a Friday night. And if you're listening to this is on a Monday. However, you could be listening or watching this on a Halloween. That's right, you can get into the Halloween spirit early by jumping on to patreon.com. Patreon.com/Brandon Aries, where you can get the Let's Talk Movie podcast up to 3 days early, as well as our watch alongs, because we just finished our watching of the Conjuring Universe. And man, oh man, was that awesome. I said it maybe last week or in another video, but to me, the Conjuring movies, that whole franchise, to me, can be seen as one of the greatest universes, in my opinion. Obviously, it got mixed rap reviews as they were coming out, but I feel like now that the timeline is like set, there's a timeline order to watch these movies. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed each and every one. There were a couple that were like, you could tell are a little on the bottom, but overall, just all of them just really help stand out. But today is Halloween, and I am dressed as yours truly. I'll bring up a reference picture for those watching. But I am Sergeant Angel Batista from the show Dexter. And oh man, I love that. I love Dexter, man. Dexter, I know in like the grand scheme when it's the top 50 or I saw a list and it was like the top shows of all time. Of course, Sopranos was like top 3 as Game of Thrones was 2 and Breaking Bad. I think Breaking Bad was number 1. Game of Thrones I think was 3, Sopranos was 2. Or no, I think The Office was in the top 3. Let me get rid of Batista. Sorry. Sorry. I'm having too much fun with that. La Pasión. But that's going to be me. All Halloween night. Here we are. I'm excited, brother. Um, what were we speaking about? We were speaking about the... Is it bad that I lost my train of thought? It's all right. But here's the thing. Halloween. It's on a Friday night. So what are you doing? You going to the bars? You going to any parties? Staying in? Doing a costume contest? There's a costume contest going on locally, and I wonder who the winner is going to be. It's at my old job because I used to work at a bar, hotel, resort, and they're doing a Halloween costume contest. Get some good monies. But today is going to be a little freestyle. So in my video this past week, we didn't watch any movies. We actually spoke about some Halloween movies that are must see. And in this episode, that's what we're going to talk about. Some movies that I feel like are must see. And I want to open the floor to all of you. What are some movies that you feel are must see for Halloween season? I'm not going to go deep into the entirety of the list. I'm just going to talk about ones that I feel like are must see. And to the surprise of no one, I'll start with Halloween 1978. Halloween 1978 was goated. I remember watching it for the first time when I was a kid and I was scared. Then fast forward all the way back to high school. And it was my senior year. The class was American film. I got so excited. As a senior in high school, when you get a class where you could just watch movies all day. Sorry, I'm fixing a figure that fell. And you get to just watch movies in class, study them, write reviews, and we even learned to put out blog posts. So that was really cool. But with American film, watching Halloween 1978, I had such a higher appreciation for it now being an adult and going into now being a movie reviewer for YouTube. So I am very grateful for Halloween 1978. And usually, if I have enough time, I will also do a watch through of Halloween 2, which came right after, I believe, 1981. Then I'm going to completely skip everything else all the way up to Halloween 2018. Because to me, I can't watch Halloween Ends. I watched it once and that was all I needed. Now, I mean, there's times I'll watch scenes from Halloween Ends, but I won't watch the whole thing. I just don't care enough, really. But Halloween and Halloween 2018 are like my go-tos. So 1978 and then 2018. So pretty much the first installments of each saga, I guess you could say. Excuse me. After that, I this was a new edition that I mentioned in my video, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know there's sequels to it. I don't know if I want to touch those unless it's for Patreon, maybe for another like Halloween watch through, or if it wins some sort of vote. But the first one, like I said, a lot of horror directors and serial killers see this as like the ideal blueprint. Shout out to the Ed Gein Netflix special, which I haven't seen yet, but I hear it's very nice. But going with that, uh, I was surprised. In the beginning, it was a little slow. You could tell it's dated, but it's dated in a good way. And the reason I say that is because my girlfriend and I were watching it, both of us watching it for the first time. And she looks at me maybe like 20 ish, 35 minutes in. She's like, dang, I'm getting kind of bored. Like, where's the kill going on? And right as she said that, here comes Leatherface bashing somebody's head in. And I was like, well, right on time. It's like they were listening to you. And it goes to show how Hollywood over time, and she even said this with um, her yearly experience of, if anyone is out there from the West Coast, but her experience of Knott's Scary Farm. She had mentioned how some of the scarers, the monsters, don't really invest a lot of passion, a lot of creativity and use of the environment as well as the character to their advantage to be a unique standout for the experience of going to Scary Farm. And it's more so just like chasing the quick pop. And I see that in horror as well for movies in general because I feel like a lot of studios are just going for that quick grab, i.e. The Strangers. And my god, that was awful. Can't believe that was part of the spooky season watch this month. All the movies that I reviewed are here on YouTube. If you're watching or listening on Patreon, you got to go on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, you got to go on YouTube. Check them out. Because we just did The Black Phone last week. You know what? Let's talk about it. Because there is a lot of kerfuffle, mix up, hate, love. There's a lot of mixed reactions and reviews for The Black Phone. I'm only going to speak on my perspective and my opinion. Everyone's entitled to theirs, but let's talk about it. When I asked people what they didn't like about it, they were just like, it's so bad. Like, Finn's sister Gwen is awful. And look, I can see why people feel that way about Gwen. And there even gets times where she kind of irked me a little bit. That being said, I found a way to still thoroughly enjoy this film. And people were like, the first one was amazing. This tarnished the entirety of the franchise. Huh? I'm listening to some of these reviews and opinions, and I'm like, did we watch the same movie? It got me wondering. Oh, God, I'm sounding like my girlfriend with Carrie from Sex and the City. I couldn't help but wonder, The thing was, like, you can still enjoy the movie, but people just saw this as unbearable. And I didn't think so. Like I said, I went to the drive-in, saw it with my girlfriend, and I was there locked in the entire time. I I think it was because also too I wanted to see what the grabber was going to do. With such a beautiful piece like Black Phone 1 was, I was very curious to see how they would carry that on. And to me they delivered. But for others I felt like they were looking for some grand unique gesture. And here's the thing. A lot of people complained about the the whole dream scenario. Like, because Grabber's dead, he is basically like Freddy Krueger. I had one comment on my last video for Black Phone that stated, wait, should I just pull it up? Oh, but basically, I'm paraphrasing. He said that it's not like Hollywood is really doing anything with Freddy Krueger. So why not have someone else raid someone's dreams? And honestly, I can agree. When was the last time you heard anything about Freddy Krueger? I bet if we look right now, um, I don't even remember when the last movie was. Let's see. What the frick? When was the last Freddy Krueger movie? 2010. You're telling me it's been 15 years since we've gotten anything. When I feel like so many other franchises are being unpacked after 15, 20, 30, hell, some of them just like 10 years. You had the audacity to try with The Crow, which I'm still mad about, but we'll come back to that. Happy Gilmore 2. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on the list. But no Freddy Krueger? Why? I heard there's like a whole debacle about ownership, yada yada, rada rada. But you're resurrecting all these other studios. Why not? Or I'm sorry, projects. Why not resurrect the Dream Killer? I don't know if that's his actual nickname. I don't remember. But why not? I don't get it. I understand that studios sometimes it's hard. I get that. But at the same time, I think if there is a demand, go for it. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, we are going to resume our must see movies for 2025. We had Halloween 1978, 2018, sometimes Halloween 2, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Next up is a very new one. It just came out earlier this month, and that is VHS Halloween. With VHS Halloween, I've never seen any of the other VHS Halloweens, or well, VHSs before. Okay. This makes me want to watch all the other VHS films. It it's scary, it's unnerving, it's pretty well done, even though it's supposed to look like it's on VHS. Some parts, not all of it, because I know some people go crazy over quality like that. Sometimes I am. Besides the point. Here's I want more VHS. I'll say that. I'll say that. So add that to your must see list. You turd me? Next up, and I think we actually started with this, my girlfriend and I, when October came along. Coco. So as a kid in school, and especially in Spanish class, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, was made especially important when it came to just knowing culture, heritage, and still honoring the dead, still welcoming them as your family still, no matter what. Every time, Day of the Dead, you give back in a way. You honor, you commemorate, you remember. Remember me. Just kidding. Un poco loco. This is why I can't watch that movie. Because then all of the songs just start seeping into my brain. And then we get this. Anyway, I told my girlfriend for Halloween maybe I will dress up as Miguel. Because I think it's this side. Yeah, dimple, no dimple. Dimple, no dimple. But add Coco to your watch list because even seeing it at Disney, and I'll tell you one thing. When my girlfriend and I went to the Liberty Science Center, they had a special exhibition. Exhibition, that's the word I'm looking for Disney Pixar. So we got to see a couple movies that were given us with, hold on, let's back up because I don't think that was English. This exhibition was for the purpose of showing some behind the scenes and the process of making an animated film. Being the movie guy, I said, hell yeah, we're signing up for that. And I'll say it now, it was spectacular. Spectacular. I loved every minute of being in there. You get to learn about rendering. That was the biggest thing. Like, my girlfriend was like, what the hell is render? And I was like, oh, let's show you. We also got to see like rigging with eye movement and stuff like that. Anyway, Coco was featured within that exhibition, and it showed an entire landscape. And it showed how long it took that one shot to render. And oh my gosh, I was having a field day there. And my girlfriend was like, it really takes that long to just render a couple seconds? I'm like, oh yeah. With big budget mouse? Haha. Oh yeah. So add Coco to your rotation. And we're going to keep on the animated GIF right here with The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a double whammy because you can watch this during Halloween, but you can also watch it in that distant holiday that we're not going to talk about, even though it is approaching. You can hear her, can't you? Get out of here. Whew. You're lucky. Sergeant Batista, we're off the clock right now. You're a lucky guy. You know why? You're not. But Nightmare Before Christmas, it's a musical, takes place Halloween-ish Christmas. Ugh, I said it. Damn it. We're okay. We'll be all right. As long as we don't hear her again. But I always liked Nightmare Before Christmas. It always, like, that, a nice candle, some nice appetizers, a nice spooky drink, maybe. Ooh! I see it now. Halloween is here. Wow. So add Nightmare Before Christmas. Some people disagree. Some people say it's a Christmas movie. I'm like, starts off with, this is Halloween. What do you got to say about that? The last movie I will say for animation is Monster House. Monster House I've seen in passing time and time again. But this year, my girlfriend made a special request to watch Monster House. And I only remember it really for, one, the term uvula, two, the old guy saying, "Get off my lawn!" And three, those are the only three ways I remember Monster House. But I will say, though, now having seen its entirety, like, years later, I really liked the movie. I thought it was good. I didn't know Mitchell Musso, which we're not going to really talk too deep into it. But I didn't know he was voicing in any of those characters. Had no clue. But we're going to go back into reality because I feel you should at least have one Friday the 13th. I didn't get to this year. I didn't have enough time because of the Conjuring movies, as well as reviewing for YouTube and then reviewing TV, which I am going to cover. It Welcome to Derry. I haven't watched it yet. Probably when this is out, I will have already watched episode one, and it will be on my TikTok and my Instagram. So check them out there. And maybe I've been playing around with the idea of posting my shorts slash TikTok slash Instagram reels on my YouTube channel. I don't know yet. We gotta weigh it out. But with all the reality horror films, I'm gonna recommend it again. The Conjuring Universe. Ed and Lorraine Warren's story with each and every installment. And like I said, the timeline order you watch it, you ain't gonna regret it. However, watching the Conjuring movies, and I'll get into that real quick with the Conjuring, but watching the Conjuring movies makes me want to dive into the Insidious movies. At first, I was under the impression that Insidious and the Conjuring were connected or part of the same thing. They're not. It's just the same director, I believe, and the same lead. That's, oh God, what is his name? I believe it's Patrick Wilson. Yeah, Patrick Wilson. I like Patrick Wilson as an actor. Like real talk, he's pretty good. I liked him in Aquaman. I liked him in the A Team, and then obviously as Ed Warren, like he's really become like a phenomenal character. And Vera Farmiga as Lorraine Warren, she's really good too. My dad met her like this is now probably like 15 years ago. He was on his way, I think, to Vegas, Nevada, or whatever. And he actually like bumped into her on a flight. And I was like, what? So to know like now that I'm like, yo, I want more Ed and Lorraine Warren, but they're not because The Conjuring Last Rites just came out recently, but think like within the month. And that's like the end, the finality of Ed and Lorraine's story. That's it. However, the director did say that he does want to make more, and it'll probably end up being like spin-offs or prequels. Not really sure yet. I think with prequels, by now, I think you can chill out. Like, where are you going to go after this? Is my question. But I definitely want to dive into Insidious. I know some people are finicky about those type of films like The Conjuring, Insidious, and The Nun, Annabelle, yada yada. I get it. I get the reasons why. But I still want to watch them. Next up, I'm gonna do some of my favorites. 2/3 of the Cornetto trilogy. And that is Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Shaun of the Dead, I I feel like I quote regularly. Hot Fuzz a little bit, but Shaun of the Dead more so. You know, you've got red on you. Hello, mate. 2 seconds. Cock it. The Winchester. And then Hot Fuzz, like, no luck catching them killers then. These are just, like I said, 2/3 of the Cornetto trilogy. I don't really like World's End. World's End to me felt weak. The weakest of the bunch, absolutely. But it didn't have that same appeal and acclaim like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead did. Hot Fuzz is so good too. Like, to me, Shaun of the Dead being a zombie movie, Hot Fuzz being a spooky cult-ish movie, while still having those levels of Edgar Wright's amazing directing and undeniable comedy. His comedy and his shots. Like the way he directs Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in both of these films are so damn good. I, to me, Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. Top 10, if not top 5. Maybe. It's a very strong maybe. Maybe top 3. Because trust me when I tell you, I was eagerly waiting for when Edgar Wright was announced as the director for Ant-Man. And that got cut because Simon Pegg was supposed to be Ant-Man. And I was like, dude, I would be so down. And then they went a different direction. And look, I still like Ant-Man. I still like what it became. I don't like Quantumania. We don't talk about that. But Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, to me, I will always watch them, no matter if it's on Halloween season or not. To me, they are just absolute bangers. Add that to your rotation while you're there. Get Out. Get Out's a little bit of a sleeper one because Get Out has those like spooky elements, but I would almost argue Nope would be more fun to watch during spooky season. It's not like, yes, it's scary, but it's more so thrilling because it is something unknown. And I think there are elements that do scare you as good as a horror movie would without the whole like demons or anything like that. Like it's UFOs, it's aliens. Earthlings and aliens. We're going to get into one that's very near and dear to my heart as we are coming back to the point. And that is Brandon Lee's The Crow. Man, oh man, I love The Crow to death. Brandon Lee, I'm telling you, one year I'm going to do Brandon Lee's The Crow. Like, as a costume. It's on my bucket list. Once I do that, I feel like, yep, feel like I'm pretty good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so not only am I named after the guy, because my dad was a big Bruce Lee fan, but this movie is just beyond words, in my opinion. It takes place on Halloween. There's revenge. There's romance. There's a little bit of comedy. It's like edgy. But even its theme, its true message, real love is forever. Now, I'm going to emphasize the message for a second because I feel like that's what people didn't exactly see with the new version and even parts of myself. Don't waste your time with the new one. Unless you're at the end of your Halloween time, you are plastered and you have nothing better to do. Go ahead and put on the crown. Good luck. I mean, like, no disrespect towards Bill Skarsgård because, man, did he get diced up for this role. And he really did commit, as I could tell. It was just a bad movie. Very bad. I'm obviously very biased because the original is just, to me, it's perfect. And then you went and soiled it. You stink. Boo. Boo them. Boo. But The Crow, I make sure to watch every single year during Halloween. Another one that might come to a shock to some, The Dark Knight. Doesn't take place on Halloween, but there are 2 Batman movies that I will watch on Halloween if I have time. The Dark Knight and The Batman. If you remember in The Batman, his opening monologue starts with Thursday, October 31st. Wait, wasn't that last year? I feel like that was. Because, oh no, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember now. But The Batman and The Dark Knight, I feel like with the essence of dressing up, with the essence of good and evil, with the sense of thrill, and you're anxious to see how Batman's going to come out of it. I feel like that's part of the epitome of spooky season. Part of it. But Batman deals with some crazy folk. And I feel like folks like the Joker, the Riddler, Two-Face add to that Halloween thrill. So add either the Dark Knight, the Batman, or both to your watch list. I did make a watch list on Letterboxd, letterboxd.com/Brandon Aries. So you can go get that there if you're looking for this list. I also linked it in my YouTube video. And if I remember, I will try and link it to this. So that way you have the list, you can reference it, you can even make your own list and send it or comment down below the list of movies that you would watch for Halloween. Movies that you see are like essential for the Halloween dance. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to call it. And we just saw this the other day, and oh boy, I was so giddy when it happened. And that is Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Yes, this is another musical, but oh my days, is it a banger of a musical. Sweeney's waiting. I want you, bladers. Woo! I remember doing Sweeney Todd for a talent show and Broadway night, and both times I had a blast. Both times I wished I was Sweeney Todd with a razor. But Sweeney Todd is so damn good. 2007, Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, Alan Rickman, rest in peace. A beautiful musical. Stephen Sondheim, whoo. Jonathan Larson's inspiration. If you don't know who Jonathan Larson is, he made the musical Rent. So, the more you know. And ever since I first heard Sweeney Todd when I was a kid, I said, I love this. I want to watch this every year. And my girlfriend will actually see me nerding out and start singing the songs. This is a very rare movie because it's not many movies where I start like nerding out and actually expressing myself externally. That's a rare thing. I mean, obviously with Spider-Man movies or Marvel films, maybe even some DC or even some franchises that are around in fiction, I'll geek out externally. But Sweeney Todd has my musical heart. Always. To this day. And it'll stay that way. But obviously I'm leaving out a lot, and I mean a lot of movies. But I'm curious to know what you think. What are some movies that you think are essential for the watch of horror movies, of spooky season in 2025? Hell, what are some movies that you're planning to watch in your Halloween watch next year? I hope I maybe gave you some, or one, or two. Who knows? But if you made it this long, comment, boo. But that's going to do it for this week of Let's Talk Movie, the Halloween episode. La Pasión. Thank you all so much for watching. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace.